iRadical, we build race cars. We race iconic tracks. We set lap records. We build friendships.
3, 4.
We create champions. We make racers.
As the BiS Radical Cup Canada reaches its grand finale, we head to Mosport for round 8, the final showdown of the season. The champions have been crowned, with Fuzui securing the Pro title and Crocker Jr. claiming the AM Championship. But the fight isn't over just yet. The team championship is still up for grabs, and with drivers eager to close out the season with a win on home soil, the battle at Mosport promises to be intense. Buckle up for one last thrilling night of racing as we bring the season to an epic conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today is Reese, the Southpaw Racer Gardner, along with Christian Hill once again at the production controls. Reese, why don't you tell us a little bit here about bit about Mosport?
Absolutely, Zippy. Man, what a final round for this incredible season of the Radical Canada Cup. Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, better known as Mosport, a track that separates the good from the great. This legendary circuit, nestled in the rolling hills of Ontario, is one of the fastest and most demanding tracks in North America. 11 corners, high-speed sweepers, and punishing elevation changes make this a true test of skill, bravery, and commitment. Drivers will blast down the Andretti straightaway at the bottom of your screen, where slipstreams turn into slingshots, before throwing their cars into the final corners, where races are won or lost on the edge of control. With blind crests, tight apexes, and no room for error, Mosport rewards the bold and punishes hesitation. Tonight, it's the final round of the BiS Radical Cup Canada, and while the Drivers' Championships may be settled, fight for team glory rages on, so we'd better get ready for some high-speed drama, last lap heroics, and one final chance to conquer this legendary track. Zippy, we've been so many places this season. It's only one of many incredible tracks that this season's been to.
Oh, absolutely, Reece. Certainly, we've been at a few of my favourites. Actually, speaking of the tracks we've been to, let's take a quick look at the schedule. Despite the fact we're on the final round, let's look at where we've been so far. We started round 1 at Sebring, actually, where the real Radical Cup is going to be this weekend, I believe. They're in Sebring. Very lucky to be there. I do believe John Bemberlid is there, as is Cedric O'Hyan for Lima Racing, certainly Pit Road Productions' favourite Radical race car. They're there with round 2 taking us to Montreal. Round 3, a personal favourite of Donington Park National. With round 4 over in Belgium for Spa. Round 5 took us to VIR, another Zippy-approved track, ladies and gentlemen, with round 6 in Barber, which is not in Australia, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to specify that for the benefit of my co-host. And round 7 took us to Watkins Glen, with round 8 taking us to Mosport. But Reece, despite the fact we're on round 8, why don't you walk us through the event format for this evening?
Absolutely. If this is the first time that you're tuning in for BiS Radical Cup Canada, where have you been, first off? This has been a crazy championship with some great racing. You should go back and watch our VODs when you're able to. But this is the event details for tonight. 15 minutes of qualifying, which the drivers are in at the moment. We have a sprint race of 15 minutes, and then a feature race of 30 minutes. Drivers will need to take a pit stop for fuel, and the top 10 on the grid for race 2 will be the inverted top 10 from the results of race 1. Fixed setup, everyone's driving the exact same settings. The only things you can really change are brake bias, I believe, potentially anti-roll bars. I'm not sure exactly how much can be adjusted on the Radical SR10, but when it comes to the main stuff, everyone's driving exactly the same car. Rolling starts, no spare car available. And of course, you have incident limits. You got to be careful not to get a penalty around here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed the event format. And here's a little bit of a spotter guide for you as well. If you see a red sticker, it's going to be one of the amateur drivers. And if you see yellow, it's going to be one of the pros. Keep an eye on that in the timing tower that's going to be in the top left corner of your screen as well. But, yeah, no, qualifying has got about a minute left to go. Let's take a quick look at the points as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an incredible season, but right now you can see there, Racine Fazui absolutely ran away with it, able to secure that pro win with Jamie LeVay coming in second and Ozzy Milwain, that's the previous winner, ladies and gentlemen, there in third, with Andrew Hartman in fourth and George Griffiths in fifth. And you can see there some incredible battles throughout the field, incredibly close. Actually, Arno Ganest and Matt Adams only 1 point between them, incredibly close battling. But let's take a look at the amateur standings as well, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there, Racine Fazui absolutely posing there for his winning shot. And there you go, Marshall Crocker Jr. He managed to take the win here, actually by quite a good margin, by 48 points over Diego Zuccarelli. John Benvalade, again, he's going to be at Sebring this weekend with Cedric O'Hyan doing some real-life radical stuff. He was there in third with Christian Gritzko in fourth and Rich Hibbs in fifth, who I believe makes Race Director as well. Some interesting software. Definitely check that out. And you can see, again, more battles throughout the field, especially if you get to about P9. You can see Richard Swindells and Cara Dudgeon, one of the Radical Academy drivers, just 1 point apart. Michael Broomhead, the BIS founder and admin, there in 11th, just 3 points behind Swindell. So incredibly close there, but I believe they have just finished qualifying. Reese, why don't you, oh yeah, we should do the teams championship as well. Yeah, that's what's at stake today, ladies and gentlemen. So right now, MTC Motorsports is there in P1 with about a, well, by off my Zippy map, there isn't a 48-point gap, but don't get me wrong, Zippy map hasn't always been the best. There we go, got that back with it. But AV, yeah, that would be 8-point gap. There you go. A little bit of Zippy math for you there, ladies and gentlemen. 8 points between MTC Motorsports and AV Esports, but Lima Racing probably going to be a little bit underrepresented today. They're there in third. However, are they going to be out of the grasp of Project 2 Racing there in fourth, with Britannia iSports in fifth, barely holding on over Racine Esports? I've got a feeling they're going to be scoring some points today. But Reese, why don't you take us there through the grid, sir?
Absolutely. It is time to get through this massive starting grid. Jamie LeVay starting on pole position here. A fantastic job, actually, from Jamie to get that done. Starting alongside Racine Fazui, the reigning now series champion, confirmed for this season. Very close times there up the front there. Clay Morris and Andrew Hardman are going to be your second row of the grid. And Ozzy Milwain starting behind them alongside Cara Dudgeon, the first of our Radical Academy drivers, now officially Cara Dudgeon Racing. Fantastic job from her right there. Rounding out that top six, Zach Buchanan starting alongside Arno Genest, who is one of the guys running the Precision Racing League, which is about to conclude and go on a bit of a break. I'm very familiar with Arno. Let's see how he does here. Joey Haynes and Marshall Crocker Jr. will round out your top 10, and Crocker, it looks like, has gained that AM-class pole position. George Griffiths and, well, it says admin in the session, but that is Michael Broomhead. That's something that I saw actually last week at the F1600 finale. Oh well, that's your top 12. Michael Broomhead starting there. Tyler Scurali and Matthew Crimmy 13th and 14th. And then rounding out our top 16, we have Brady Clapham and Tyson Balbosa. Richard Swindells and Christian Gritzko are going to be starting 17th and 18th. Our top 20 rounded out by Assad Nikardenbev and John Benvalid. Two very fierce competitors there. Let's see if they can fight their way up. Alex McLean is on the grid in 21st place alongside Robert Ridgway in one of the most striking looking cars on the grid. And we have Robert Covey and Nicholas Colander starting 23rd and 24th. Our 13th row of the grid will be JF Larocque and Nick Polliard. Behind them, Chad Payton and Cedric O'Hyan starting 27th and 28th. Top 30 rounded out by Doug Meadows and Stephen Sutherland. We only have a few more cars left on this grid. Kenton Young and Phil Nellis are going to start their 31st and 32nd. Keenan Blades starts in 33rd. He's got Ivan Langeveld for company on that row. And finally, Matthew Mileman, last driver to set a qualifying time. Mark Boyd off the rear of the grid. Took part in practice, did not set a lap in qualifying, but we have all 36 cars getting ready to take the start of this race, Zippy, down to the Moss hairpin. On the formation lap, only a few corners to go before the final round of the season officially begins.
It's definitely going to be a spicy one, Reese. I'm looking forward to it. But don't get me wrong, while the championship may have been decided, if you're looking to own a Radical or feel the thrill of Radical racing firsthand, contact Robert Burgess at Radical Canada to buy your own car or arrange a rental and drive into the excitement of Radical competition. Definitely contact Robert Burgess for that. If you can't reach him, by all means, leave a comment on the video on YouTube or send us a message on Discord. However you want to reach us, we will make sure you can get hold of Rob. We'll get into our other sponsors a little bit later here. We're getting ready for the green flag very, very shortly, and definitely going to be a very fun grid indeed. Certainly with the championship being decided, you know, I've got a feeling we're going to see some very much no limits kind of racing, and I think that's going to be absolutely a huge treat for us here in the commentary booth.
Yeah, absolutely should. This is going to be a very fun start to the race. The tyres are going to be heated up incredibly quickly, have to say. Very, very high load corners here around Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Mosport, as we are going to continue calling it. Sponsors be damned. But Jamie LeVay off pole position, gets ready for the green flag, and we are away. Across the start-finish line, and lap one begins. Already Racine Fazui under pressure there from Clay Morris, who sweeps through into second spot, but look for Racine to go for the over-under. Oh, dearie me, gently does it. On your way through the first couple of corners, side by side, through a very quick diving turn, and Fazui still trying his best to get back past Clay Morris.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what happened at the start, but I do see that Mike Broomhead has indeed dropped to the very back of the field. Actually, Alex McLean, I think he's towed to the pits as well. We're going to have to get a replay of that very shortly. The front of the pack able to get away clean now. Right now, Jamie LeVay leads, Clay Morris in second, and Racine Fazui in third.
Yeah, looking good here through the Moss hairpin. I'm not seeing any crashes further back in the field at the very difficult hairpin halfway around the lap. But here's where the slipstream comes in, Zippy, and Racine's already right behind Clay Morris. This could be a move here in the final couple of corners, but will Morris go for it on LeVay for the lead? It looks like he might.
Well, certainly, I mean, these guys are going to be fighting out for it in this sprint race as well. And certainly, it's great to see Kara Dudgeon currently up in P7 as that's a move on the inside of turn 10 by Racine Fazui, going door to door there with Clay Morris. And it looks like Ozzy Milwain looking to try and capitalize on that opportunity as they're heading around turn 1. A little bit of a downhill sweep, but certainly you're going to see a little bit of the runoff being used. And that's exactly what happens. Clay Morris dipping a wheel in the dirt, which allows Racine Fazui to try and make a move on the outside. Sox is there in front, just millimeters in the gap.
That couldn't have been closer if they tried. I was fully expecting Racine Fazui to go around there, but they made it through miraculously. This is turning into a very entertaining battle here in the sort of top 6 area. Zach Buchanan has latched onto the back of this pack, and it's a little bit further back to Kara Dudgeon, but I tell you what, it's still close enough that any mistake from any of these drivers can set the entire order alight.
Oh, absolutely. And Buchanan certainly, he's going to be familiar with this car. He was the amateur winner last season. You can see just 2 places ahead. The pro winner of last season was Ozzy Milwain, with this year's winner of Racine Fazui currently in second. Marshall Crockett Jr., the AM winner, currently in 11th. But right now, for the amateur drivers, Kara Dudgeon absolutely doing incredibly up there in 7th place. And you see, as my cohort did say, Zach Buchanan almost, trying to hold on to that pack. It's got Kara Dudgeon behind, but still within drafting distance. So we're not going to see it separate just yet, but if you look, I believe that's Arno Ganest. It may be his teammate there. You can see a little bit of separation there, really thinning out the field.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Arnaud currently sitting in 9th spot for the time being, and things looking all right here. Oh, we're already seeing a lapped car come into contention. That's Assad Nikadambev, who I believe has just come out of the pits. He might have been one of the cars that went off there on lap 1. He's down in 31st place and has already let our leaders go. And he did the right thing there, but goodness me, it was mighty close. Very high closing speeds there.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly you've got to be very careful on the rejoin. It looks like Arnaud Ganassi is going to go toe-to-toe with Joey Haynes. They are both BiS regulars, and they're currently behind Kara Dudgeon by about 2 tenths per second, but I'm looking forward to seeing the move. And no, he's not going for the move. It looked like he was actually pushing Joey Haynes along. Kara Dudgeon is going to really have to put those elbows out to try and hold these two seasoned veterans right behind it, which she does so. And you can see there, Ganassi looking to make a move there on the inside of Haynes. We're on board with Kara Dudgeon looking through the rear wing, and you can just see there, despite the incredible pace from Arnaud Ganassi, not quite able to get it done on seasoned BiS veteran Joey Haynes.
Yeah, indeed. This is a fantastic little battle here, and they're not losing out to the top pack either. I was fully expecting someone like Racine Fazui to be running away with this like he has for the whole season long, but the slipstream and the high speeds through the corners, they've kept everyone incredibly close together. A little bit of an off there behind. It looks like that was George Griffiths that visited the grass, did a little bit of lawn mowing.
Oh, certainly. Maybe a little bit of agricultural driving, perhaps, is one of the ways it's been described on Pit Road Productions. But I can see here, despite the incident earlier, it looked like some of the people involved in that have been able to stay with the pack and stay with the draft. It's just the biggest gap I'm actually seeing right now is between P12, 13, 14, and it looks like Arnaud Ganassi this time he's going to get a run as they're heading down towards the S's. Yep, he slips it on the inside of Joey Haynes. The 312 manages to sneak by the number 6, and as they're going to head down there, turn 10, which I believe is White's corner.
Yes, indeed. Well, round they go to begin the next lap. This is only going to be a 12-lap race. This is an incredibly quick event that is going to be going by here. The fastest lap going to Zach Buchanan, who's getting that slipstream off the rest of the top 5. Clay Morris, meanwhile, he's trying his best here to find his way back past Racine Fazui, who's fallen to 3rd. Ozzy Milwain trying his best to hold on to that 2nd spot up 2 places, and it seems to me that this is going to be a bit of a lockstep situation for the next couple of laps. Maybe the drivers are just waiting for that chance here. The final lap is going to be where the moves really count, and you want to make sure that you make those moves there, otherwise your rival's going to get you right back.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly you've got to decide when is the time to go and when is the time to stick. Certainly, the more that you fight, the more that the person behind you is going to be able to catch up. You're going to be off that optimal line and basically holding each other up. But saying that, it is a sprint race, and with the championship decided, honestly, I'd be fighting for every position I could. The long game, I'd say, is pretty much removed. So it looks like Nicholas Calander, Robert Ridgway, they're having a little bit of a battle as well. But right now, we're staying here with Marshall Cocker Jr. That is the amateur winner. He's got George Griffiths ahead of him and Tyson Balboa right beside him.
Fastest lap goes to Ozzy Milwain in 2nd spot, and Crocker now finding his way to the back of George Griffiths, but we'll see if Griffiths can carry that speed through these corners. There is a little bit of aero push that you have to consider in the Radical. Follow a bit too closely, it can disrupt the airflow over you if you're following too closely. Regardless, Crocker doing a good job keeping himself in the top 10 there, and don't forget, that is pole position for race 2 right there, so we should keep a very close eye on this fight.
Well, actually, something that we can mention very quickly is Mark Boyd, despite not posting a qualifying time, he is currently up to 20th position, up 16 spots. He definitely had a tactic in mind, and it's fair to say it's currently paying off for him. Absolutely huge moves there. Cedric go high, and actually, I thought oh my gosh, he's racing from Sebring.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah, we saw some video footage earlier of some sim rigs that I hadn't quite caught on. I'm now seeing him here in the session. The penny has just dropped. Have we got John Benblid in here as well? We do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is incredible dedication. These gentlemen, despite being over at the real racetrack of Sebring, they're here competing in BiS. Absolutely fantastic commitment there from the number 36 car and also from the number 8 of John Benblid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Excellent stuff from Lima Racing. Hopefully we get a bit of an eye into what they're going through there, but both of them still doing very well with, Ben Valid, of course, having some problems on lap 1, as many drivers did seem to do. But he's managed to get that car fixed up. He's back out there. He may be a lap down, but regardless, he's fighting well and keeping it up. So, meanwhile, we did see as well on screen Marshall Crocker found his way past George Griffiths and is now in 9th spot. So he'll be guaranteed a 2nd place for the start of race 2. As it looks like there's a bit of a change for the lead. Ozzy Milwain alongside Jamie LeVay. Oh, he tried to go for it at the final corners, but it looks like LeVay is holding him off. This battle for the lead is going to get very close, Sippy.
Oh, absolutely. We get our eyes very quickly on that because it looks like that's exactly what Racine Fazui is looking for as well. He's going to want those two guys to fight as much as they possibly can. And you can see right now the gap about 3-4 car lengths in it. Right behind Racine, you've got Clay Morris and then Andrew Hartman, Zach Buchanan there. And I believe Cara Judgeon is still holding true as well, albeit only just in the slipstream at this point by about a second. Incredible drive. I'm not quite sure exactly how old Cara is, but certainly herself and the younger drivers in the grid and have shown some incredible pace here at BiS.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen Cara Dudgeon dominate Radical Academy, and we've also seen Asad Nakadambev get some wins in the F1600 Championship as well. Not afraid to get the elbows out when needed. Neither is Racine Fazui, because have a look at the slipstream he's got here. But Milwain's going to try and drag him through here to 2nd place. This is what happened last lap. Milwain trying around the outside of the 3rd last corner, trying to get the inside for the penultimate turn, but looks like Jamie LeVay is holding strong here. He's putting on a practically perfect defensive drive. He shouldn't leave the inside line open though, and that's exactly what he does. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Clay Morris trying to find his way past Racine, and it looks like our newly crowned champion gets shuffled out of the way.
I have a feeling, like, don't get me wrong, it's all in good sport, but I got a feeling there's, Racine Fazui may have been dubbed the Stig here of the BiS Radical Canada Cup, and there's a few people who are wanting the t-shirt. Zach Buchanan's just gone and snuck by, I believe, Andrew Hardman right there. And certainly, you know what, just to put it into context, ladies and gentlemen, Racine Fazui's iRating, now that is like the skill index that iRacing used itself, just short of 8,000. Don't get me wrong, if I could beat that guy, I would definitely want that on a t-shirt. I don't know if Racine's going to share the same kind of sentiment, but you can see right now current champion versus previous champion, and Zach Buchanan very much being forced to use that very tight inside line. Very much it's a clean move, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly you can try and force them as tight as you possibly can. Zach getting a little bit of a drop there from Clay Morris ahead of him and able to keep the door closed on the number 58 of Racine Fazui.
Meanwhile, Milwain has gotten ahead of Jamie LeVay, and they're side by side on the way out of the final corner. Easy does it. They are side by side across the start-finish line to begin the 10th lap of the race. 3 to go, and it looks like LeVay might be in trouble.
Certainly, you know what, he's been able to hold off Milwain for so long so far, but is this going to be what he needed? And he's going to be on the inside for the next corner. Yeah, able to get the door shut, and you can see Milwain under pressure there from Clay Morris, one of the Radical Canada employees as well. He's certainly putting in a very respectable time here, and you can see Cara Dudgeon has managed to stay with the pack as well. That gap was a second before, down to just 0.3 of a second. I have a feeling she is quietly biding her time. Certainly with 2 laps to go, if she's going to strike, she's going to make it soon. As Fazui trying to make a move there on the outside, Buchanan's looking to put her nose on the inside. Incredible racing all the way from P1 to P7. Incredibly tight pack.
Yeah, this is a fantastic pack that we're seeing at the moment. I am loving every second of this. Dudgeon trying her best to hold on to the back of this. Is a side-by-side for the lead again, and this time Ozzy Milwain gets ahead of Jamie LeVay once again, but, oh man, LeVay is putting his car in all the right places here to try and keep the lead. Now 2 laps to go, and they're almost 2 by 2 through the final corner. Fazui has to go tight. Morris has to make way for Buchanan there. Easy does it through the, oh my God, how did they get through that?
Oh, absolutely incredible racing. As you see Clay Morris sticking it up on the inside of Buchanan in the number 40 machine, the 40 versus the 48. And you can see there in the background, Andrew Hardman, another BIS seasoned veteran. He's there in the number 3 car, trying everything he can with car reduction right behind in the 305 machine. But you can see that battle. Jamie LaVey, definitely one of the best defensive drives we've seen here in the BIS Radical Canada Cup. Really working hard, positioning that car. And I do have to wonder as well, like we saw the Radical Academy yesterday, Carl was saying just how hard it is to pass. Now, Jamie LaVey certainly proving that the opportunities are there, but to make them stick against LaVey in the 444 machine, you're going to have a little bit more than just pace.
Oh, have a look at the slipstream. It's so strong. They're going to be 3 wide for the lead coming into the third last corner. Ozzy Milwain just ahead. He's found his way past Jamie LaVey. Oh, he put his car in exactly the right spot there. And now LaVey has to try and defend from Fazui. We are going on to the final lap now, Zippy. This has been a crazy race, and I think we haven't seen the half of it.
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. Some amazing racing here for the season closer here at BiS Radical Canada Cup. And you can see here, I've got to wonder, is LaVey going to be able to strike back? As no, Fazui's there on the inside as they're going around turn 2. Is this exactly what he needed? It looks like Clay Morris looking to try and capitalize that on as well. He tucks right back in behind Fazui, get that slipstream again, and Buchanan now applying pressure to the 48 of Clay Morris.
Ozzy Milwain has run away with this. I don't think Fazui's going to be able to slipstream past him on the straightaway as long as Milwain nails the exit of Moss. A little bit of a slide for Jamie LaVey as he desperately tries to hold on to this podium position. Here we go then. Down the blast of the straight. Dudgeon is in the slipstream now of Hardman, and it looks like she might be looking for a top 6 out of this. Everyone's going to fan out here as they make their way to the third last corner. Almost 3 wide for second place on the way through. 4th for Clay Morris. And he keeps, Jamie LaVey keeps him behind, but Ozzy Milwain up the front of the field. Fazui gave him a good race on the last lap, but Milwain is going to be the winner of race 1 here. Clay Morris crossing the line on the grass there. 4th place for him. Jamie LaVey holds on to the podium.
Oh, incredible. It looks like we've got a battle happening further back as well. Oh, my bad. Yeah, people crossing the line very, very quickly here. I think the next battle maybe between Mark Boyd and Cedric O'Hyan. And actually, that's Brady Clapham. Mark Boyd, yep, they've crossed the line. So 2 real-life Radical drivers, not just being able to fight out on the real track, but certainly in the sim as well, with Mark Boyd in 19th, with Cedric O'Hyan in 20th. Brady Clapham, another real-world driver, I believe. He's there. He's looking across the line. Currently there in, let me have a quick look here. Where is he? I've lost him. 27. Thank you very much. And he's currently fighting there with Ivan Langeveld.
And it looks like Langeveld got shuffled a little bit and almost lost the position to Matthew Mileman there coming across the line. So that's going to be your last couple of cars across the line, and it seems that Alex McLean has just crossed the line himself. So everyone is together now, and the race is won and done. My goodness, what a first race of the night. We can confirm that Tyson Balbosa finished 10th and is going to be your pole position for race 2.
I definitely would not want to be in that hot seat, Reece. Certainly, I've had the benefit of having that kind of luxury before, and it was terrifying. I did manage to secure a podium from it, but certainly, you've really got to work hard for it. But it's going to be interesting to see how the grid mixes up as these guys are going into a warm-up. But I've got to say, what an incredible race, Reece. Like, that really, it was exactly as predicted, certainly with the championship battle been decided. These guys, certainly the gloves are off, the elbows are out, and absolutely incredible racing here today at Mosport.
Yeah, indeed. It was clean. It was fast. It was professional as well. A little bit on the edge at times, but that's what you expect from a track like this. Really loved seeing that.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. But I do understand we've got a little video for you guys to check out during this warm-up as well. If we've got time, we should probably do the results. I think we should probably do that. Then do a video. And then also, if I can manage it, if we've got the time, I'm going to try and steal somebody for an interview before we head into this main feature race. But let's have a quick look at the results, if we can, from that absolutely phenomenal race we've just had here at Mosport.
Looks like we might not have the results. There's been a couple of glitches behind the scenes, but you know what? It's basically going to be an inverted top 10 and then the grid for race 2, which we're going to go through. So I think we'll be fine on that front. But for now, I think we should check out exactly what these drivers have been racing for this season. A test in a real radical car. We do have some footage from last season's champions getting that prize.
The champions of the Radical Cup Canada Winter Series took to the track at Mosport DDT for their first experience of the Radical SR3. Ozzy Milwain, the pro champion, was up in the morning session, getting used to the vehicle in pit lane and getting belted in properly before going out on track. Once he did though, he built himself up gradually, just putting in some solid lap times just to get acquainted with the handling of the car. You could tell, however, he was getting more comfortable as the day went on, putting in some faster lap times and showing what his pace was all about during the season. Feeling really relaxed, he completed a fantastic day and it was fantastic to work with him. The heavens opened in the afternoon, however, with Zach Buchanon, the AM champion, getting his first taste of real machinery on a track. He managed beautifully during the day, putting in some solid lap times in the poor conditions, showing his true ability and the reason why he was the AM champion.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta definitely give a big thanks to you for doing this for us. Yeah, we didn't expect anything less with this thing.
But it was great. Once I got some laps in, it felt natural. Felt kind of just like in the sim, but with more G-force bumps, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
The champions of the Radical Cup
ladies and
Canada Winter
gentlemen,
Series.
welcome back. And what an absolute belter it has been so far. I'm assuming we're back on air. Doris, just give me a little bit of whisper. Perfect. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Almost have the same kind of pizzazz and enthusiasm as Jeremy Clarkson, but without any of the prestige or intelligence, perhaps. Saying that, I guess Clarkson not known for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we should give a quick thank you out to our sponsors. And the first one we're going to mention today, we're going to be doing Radical. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to own a Radical or feel the thrill of Radical racing firsthand, contact Robert Burgess at Radical Canada to buy your own car or arrange a rental and drive into the excitement of Radical competition. Contact Robert Burgess to get started. You can see his email there. Certainly, if you can't get hold of him there, by all means, leave a comment on the YouTube video. We will get to you. If not, message us in Discord. I don't mind how you do it. We want to make sure that you can get there. You can even rent one if you want. Certainly, that's something that he does offer as well. We also want to thank FEL Motorsports, and they are a premier real-world racing organization that brings thrilling, high-stakes competition to tracks across Canada, supporting and showcasing talented drivers in professional motorsport series. Stay updated on the 2025 season. Visit FEL's website.
Indeed, and we can't go without thanking M-Zone, a trusted brand in automotive care and maintenance, providing top-quality products designed to keep vehicles running smoothly and looking their best. Known for their performance-driven solutions, M-Zone shares BIS's passion for excellence, making them a perfect real-world counterpart in the automotive space. Discover M-Zone's full range of products and elevate your vehicle care by visiting their website, mzone.ca. And look at that, Zippy. We've timed it perfectly. Warm-up has just finished, and that means that we can go through the grid for the second of our races here tonight. Of course, the top 10 have been inverted from the start, from the end of race 1. So that means that Tyson Barbosa and Marshall Crocker Jr. are going to be our front row. What a front row that is.
Well, that is exactly what Marshall Crocker Jr. would want to be seeing here. You can see there he is. He's on P2, Tyson Barbosa, running with Auto Eclectic Motorsport, so he's definitely going to be a friend of Mark Boyd, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Reedman as well. Not seen him here in BIS this season. Certainly, he's also involved in that team. As we have a look at row 2, you're going to have Arno Ganest and Kara Dudgeon. Certainly it's going to be interesting to see how Kara can do, especially in this with the Radical Academy success. As we have a look back at 5th, you got Andrew Hardman for MTC Motorsports alongside Zachary Buchanan, being cheered on by Dizzle in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. With Clay Morris, Radical Canada, he's there in 7th alongside the absolutely phenomenally defensive drive of Jamie LeVay. He's there in 8th, there we go. And Racine Fazui, your pro champion, there in 9th, alongside a previous champion, ladies and gentlemen, of Ozzy Milwain in 10th.
Absolutely. And then from there, it's where they finished in race 1. George Griffiths got 11th, Joey Haynes in 12th spot. And then Christian Gritzko up 5 positions to 13th. Richard Swindell's up 3 to 14th. Tyler Scarali lost out a little bit in race 1. He's going to be starting alongside Robert Ridgway, who made his way from outside the top 20. Nicholas Colander made up bulk positions. 17th on the grid for him. Chad Payton, all the way from 27th to 18th. Incredible stuff in race 1. Mark Boyd, meanwhile, he didn't qualify in race 1, and he's going to be starting 19th. Fantastic job starting alongside Cedric O'Hyan to round out the top 20. Doug Meadows and Jean-Francois Larocque going to be our 11th row, with Nick Polliard and Stephen Sutherland 23rd and 24th. Keenan Blades is going to start in 25th place alongside Michael Broomhead for Britannia iSports. Brady Clapham, Lima Racing, starting out at 27th, and we have Ivan Langeveld alongside him. And then Matthew Mileman is going to start alongside Phil Nels to round out the top 30. Then we get to the drivers who finished off the lead lap in race 1. Asad Nikadambev did not have the performance that he wanted, neither did John Benvelid. So let's see what they can do from here. Robert Covey and Matthew Crimmy starting 33rd and 34th. And then our field is rounded out by Alex McLean and Kenton Young, who are both taking to the start here. And they're already away on their formation lap. Oh, we can get a bit more of a slow tour of Canadian Tire Motorsports Park before they really put the hammer down.
Well, indeed, and I was reading the chat actually between these drivers, and certainly everybody is very much happy, and certainly very friendly racing. I'm just going to try and pick out a few snippets. We've got Racine Fazui there. I'm going to start using my door more. A little bit of banter there with Zach Buchanan saying you're using it enough, and definitely a little bit of fun. Clay Morris certainly showing some appreciation for the group there, and a little bit of Jamie mad respect for the NASCAR end, with certainly some nice racing going on. Also as well, thank you Robert Ridgway for letting me know that my PM to everybody does indeed work, so I can now troll the races live, ladies and gentlemen. That's probably a lethal thought, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly a good bit of fun here as we're getting ready to start the final race of the BiS Radical Canada Cup. And I've got to say, Reese, it's been an absolute belter.
Absolutely. This has been a crazy event so far. I always love coming to Mosport because it always puts on this kind of racing. You know, one mistake can define your entire event, and the slipstream is so strong down the Mario Andretti straightaway. Checking in with Asad Nikadambev, warming up his tyres for the run here, and he has got a lot of work to do starting outside the top 30, but we know how much he loves a pass. Same for Alex McLean as well. This is going to be a tough one for him too, starting off the back row of the grid. Long way from the front here, that's about to negotiate the final corner and the run to the line. Tyson Balbosa on pole position, green flag flies, and we are away. Marshall Crocker on the outside of turn 1. He does have to stay a little wide and almost loses to Arnaud Jeunesse, but there's a big crash behind, massive crash. Kara Dudgeon escapes the worst of it, but that's Zach Buchanan among many drivers who are in a graveyard at the first corner. LeVay and Payton also involved, and who on earth else?
I believe Racine Fazui may have finally bit the bullet on that one. Clay Morris, it looks like he's out. Alex McLean, he's out running. We're definitely going to have to see a replay of that one. But right now, Tyson Balbosa out there leading. Marshall Crocker Jr. in second. Arnaud Ganest in third. Andrew Harbin in fourth. And George Griffiths currently riding in fifth.
Well, looks like our battling pack from race 1 pushed it a little too hard into the first corner, and they all came together. That's a real shame to see. We have lost a lot of our top competitors from that top 10, but Arnaud Jeunesse in third place here, and he is going to try and get in the slipstream of Crocker to get past Barbosa. Tyson is keeping to the inside of this third last corner, but he's going to be pushed a little bit offline here by Marshall. And let's see what they can do. Side by side to the line to end lap 1.
Well, I've got a feeling Marshall Crocker Sr. is going to be absolutely screaming into the headset of his son. Certainly, he's going to be keen as a spotter and certainly a little bit of an engineer at times. He's going to be very, very vocal at this kind of point right now. Crocker Jr. fighting for the lead alongside Tyson Barbosa as he gets it done, at least for now. He's leading and looking to try and make a defense there, but you can see Arno Ganest applying all of the pressure there to the 51 car of Barbosa. Andrew Harbin right behind with George Griffiths, and Joey Haynes lingering in the background, the BiS veteran with Robert Ridgway actually up 9 positions behind him. Actually, speaking of hard charges right now, ladies and gentlemen, Lima Racing's very own John Beverlin up for astonishing 18 positions here, despite racing from Sebring.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Benwillid with some great form on lap 1. It looks like Cedric O'Hyan and Nicholas Colander suffered some issues there at Moss, and Colander is falling down the order now, down to 17th. Has just given up the place to Assad Nikardenbev there. Cedric O'Hyan, meanwhile, 12th place. He's got Jean-Francois Larocque and Michael Broomhead for very close company, and Larocque trying on our BiS race administrator, but it's not going to work at that particular point. Need to be a bit closer to make the move into the final corners here.
Oh, absolutely. And you can see here as we return to that that battle for the lead, it's actually 2 amateurs currently leading the final race. Absolutely fantastic stuff there as Joey Haynes goes and sets the fastest lap. Attaboy Joey, certainly he's talented in a go-kart and he's talented in a Radical SR10 as well. As you can see there, we're on board with the AV Esports driver himself in the number 6 car, currently resting in 6th place, one of the pros, one of the BiS regulars, and currently holding the fastest lap. You can see there he's right up behind the wing of George Griffiths as they're heading down to Moss Corner. You can see the front pack very close together. Certainly, actually, the front 9, maybe even 10 cars very much in contention. Mark Boyd currently resting in 9th as well. Another real-life Radical driver. Richard Swindell's probably the oldest guy on the grid if it weren't for Robert Covey. Certainly, I'm not too sure which one's older. He's currently resting in 8th position, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, the lead pack, it looks like Arno Ganest is trying to make a move on the 51 of Tyson Barbosa.
Yep, round the outside of the sweeping right-hander. You saw him just getting it done there, and Tyson now falls to 3rd. He's going to be under pressure from Hardman and Griffiths on the way through the final corner, and Haynes is right on the back of them as well. This is still an incredibly close pack. Oh, Barbosa a little bit wide through turn 1. You saw he had to have a couple of goes at the steering on the way in there. Crocker meanwhile sets the fastest lap in the lead of the race. This is his opportunity here for an overall victory. He's performed incredibly well all season, and this could be his best chance yet for major success. Barbosa is doing a good job of keeping everyone behind him here. Hardman, Griffiths and Haynes, they're getting all amongst each other right now.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, Crocker Jr. has been Mr. Consistent, and he's certainly to finish the race, to finish the season with a race win will be absolutely. It does not get any better than that. But I've got to say, Barbosa doing a fantastic job in the 51 machine, holding up the talents there of Andrew Harmon right behind George Griffith behind him, and you can see the slipstream coming into effect as a new fastest lap. This time from your old favourite, ladies and gentlemen, Racine Fazui. Not surprisingly, sets a 1:12.263. Incredible lap there. And you see that Barbosa still able to hold off, and actually the front couple look like they may be sneaking away, or is that actually a little bit of lap traffic ahead?
We'll have to wait and see. So it looks like Crocker. Yeah, it is traffic. Crocker is under a lot of pressure at the moment. Arno Ganest right on the back of him here, and there is some lap traffic ahead of them in the form of Tyler Scurali. Looks like they might be catching up to the Britannia number 15 very shortly, but for now, Crocker has to keep his eyes on his mirrors because Arno is an incredibly quick driver, very talented indeed, but Crocker has plenty of raw talent of his own, as we've seen multiple times this season.
Oh, absolutely incredible. And I got to admit, I do love the livery as well, as it looks like Arno Ganest looking to put a nose in there, not quite able to get it done. He's going to be keen to capitalize on this, and certainly Crocker Jr. and Crocker Sr., in fact, are going to have their work very much cut out for him in this final round of the BiS Radical Cup Canada. But you can see there, look at the draft, the huge draft. He's going to have to hug the inside, pushing Crocker Jr. as tight to the inside as he can, and he's able to get by at least for now. And it looks like Barbosa looking to try and capitalize on that draft as well. Can Crocker Jr. fight back as they're heading around turn 9 and into White's corner for turn 10?
Well, Genest is going to lead a lap here. Will he be able to keep the lead is the question. We're seeing a very similar situation what we saw in race 1. The top 6 or so all together in a pack and all fighting with each other. But there is an extra element here, Zippy, the pit stop. They don't have enough fuel in the tank to make it all the way to the end of the race. They will have to top it up at some point. The question is when.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like we got another battle happening further back throughout the field as well. Certainly Mark Boyd, one of the real-life Radical drivers, he's currently under pressure from Richard Swindells in the number 16 machine. Mike Broom had a couple of car lamps behind right now, but certainly we want to give it a little bit of light to everybody in the grid, and certainly one of the older drivers there doing everything he can. Robert Covey as well, he's currently back there in 18th, actually in quite a big pack there. He's got Keenan Blades ahead of him, Alex McLean behind, and you can see there incredible battling going on right now in actually a 4-car battle there with Keenan Blades leading that charge.
Yeah, indeed. I've just gone back to check the crash on lap 1, and it turns out it looks like it was some minor contact between Clay Morris and Cara Dudgeon ahead of everyone else, and ultimately that ballooned into the massive incident we saw as we check out Mr. McLean. Here we go, 19th, and then up to 18th, and then up to 17th. 2 for 1 there down the straight. Fantastic move.
Well, you got to say, he's got U-Haul on the wing, and certainly you was hauling ass on that one. Alex McLean doing an absolutely fantastic job in the 69 car as we're returning here to the lead pack, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see here, that's Arno Ganes on Crocker Jr.
Looks like this was meant to be a replay of the lap 1 crash, but we haven't seemed to have gotten it, so we are looking at live. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, Clay Morris and Cara Dudgeon off on the first lap. They came together coming through turn 1. We're going to get a view of it here. So you'll see that into the first turn here, on the inside is Morris, on the outside is Dudgeon, and then mid-corner, Dudgeon turns in, and neither of them did anything wrong here. I have to highlight, Dudgeon had the space. There was just a tiny little bit of contact right here at the apex, and Dudgeon gets spun around. Buchanan couldn't avoid, Fuzui couldn't avoid. In fact, almost the entirety of our top 10. Have a look at George Griffiths on the right there. He just avoided becoming a part of all of that.
I gotta admit, he got away with that. That gentleman there needs to buy a lottery ticket. But I gotta say, for crashes go, that was actually quite beautiful. Certainly, I don't think it was anything like worth reporting or anything like that. Definitely a racing incident, and maybe for next time a little bit more space to be left. But certainly, you know what? In the last race, things are gonna happen. You can see there, George Griffiths free wide. We're gonna get an onboard from him. See the chaos unfold, and yep, a little bit of a nudge, and I think he maybe caught the left front, and somehow he got away with that. Definitely the 25 car from Majors Esports, he needs to buy himself a lottery ticket, and it's the jammy dodger of the evening.
Yeah, that was very lucky there for George Griffiths. Meanwhile, Genest and Crocker are continuing to fight for the lead of the race here, and they make a tiny bit of contact on the way down the straight here. Look at the zooming from Andrew Hardman there. Such strong slipstream. I know I keep saying that, but it's ridiculous how quickly they catch up to each other down the straight.
I gotta say, for me, I personally love that feature of the Radical. It certainly makes the racing more interesting. It certainly, if you know, it's almost like a DRS, but you know, a more natural occurrence of it. And like for me, slipstreaming and drafting just adds another element, and not only that, another race technique. So don't get me wrong, if you're in that draft, you know, you can definitely slingshot and pull yourself through another position. But on the flip side as well, you can also use this to save fuel. With this being a pit stop required race and not enough fuel in the car to make it to the end, I do wonder, is Arno Ganes going to have to spend a little bit more time down pit lane, as I believe Alex McLean has maybe just gone and had a little bit of a scenic route into the wall.
Yeah, looks like it. He's towed back to the pits, and that might be the end of the Britannia iSports number 69 for the season here. That's unfortunate there for Alex, but well, we'll find out shortly what happened to him, as now it's time for Hardman to go for second here on Crocker, but neither of them have much in the way of slipstream off Genest. They are catching up to him, but it seems like discretion is the better part of valor here. And talking about the pit stop, Zippy, you're talking about potentially Genest having to spend a bit more time in the lane filling up, burning more fuel. I also think that you need to try and find a way to pit with someone, because if you pit alone and you can't come out with no one to slipstream off, you're going to lose bulk time to everybody else.
Oh, absolutely. And on the flip side as well, certainly this is where a spotter could be incredibly useful. Marshall Crocker Jr., perhaps his old man could capitalize on this, but it's about where you're going to come out in traffic, because don't get me wrong, you want to have that slipstream, but you also want to be able to make sure you don't get bottlenecked behind someone else. So I believe that's George Griffiths there. It looks like his car.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What's he doing all the way back there? That doesn't make sense.
He's still in 6th. It looks like maybe there was a mistake made through the first couple of corners. I mean, he hasn't lost any positions. We'll take a look here. Okay. Oh, okay. That's what happened there. So he ran a bit wide up at Moss and unfortunately lost some time. So that explains that. But here's what happened to McLean in the meantime. Coming through the last couple of corners off the curb, car gets unsettled and he can't get it turned in for the last corner and straight into the tyre bundle.
Well, certainly make sure you got the insurance on that one. The U-Haul, certainly bring it back and get a new one. Maybe we should get sponsored by U-Haul, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly Alex McLean doing his bit to support that cause. But you can see here, Andrew Hardman currently resting in 3rd. I got to say, my hat's off to Tyson Barbosa. He's done an absolutely incredible job. Don't get me wrong, he started pole, but not only that, he still managed to keep it pretty much with the front of the field. And to be fair to him, that is quite the accomplishment. Certainly, you know, he started high up in the grid. It's definitely advantageous, but he's still there, which I gotta say, incredible drive from the AM driver.
Yeah, really good stuff from Dyson. You know, he put himself in the exact right spot in race 1 to capitalize, and now he could be on his way to a top 5 at least. This is really good here from the Auto Eclectic driver, and he is in the slipstream of Andrew Hardman as well, so he can definitely stay with them. We've got a very good view of the foliage there surrounding this brilliant circuit. Regardless, Hardman trying to go for it here on Crocker, and Barbosa wants to follow him through. Look at the outside move there from Hardman, but Crocker's going to fight him. Do either of them go for the pit lane? There we go. Yep, that's smart there from Marshall Crocker. He saw that he was wide there in the final corner and thought, okay, now's the time to take the pit stop. Might as well lose as little time as possible rather than fight the position. Going to go for the earliest pit stop of the drivers in the top 10.
Well, we're going to have to see how that works out for him in the long term. And very quickly mentioned the 75 car, Kenton Young, up 21 positions. So starting to Cardenbev, he, for lack of better words, he ate it in race 1. He's currently up 19 positions, as is Mike Broomhead. He's up 18 in the 00 car. But right now, Kenton Young leading a pack himself, Robert Kobe, and I believe that is John Bembler behind him as well in the Lima Racing machine. Certainly, I love the dedication as well. It's good to have Robert Kobe back as well. I know he was working away for a little while. I was actually about 3-4 hours away from myself. Sadly, I wasn't able to make it out and have a beer with this fine gentleman, but the Howler Racing machine back on track and having a good race so far.
Indeed, Robert Covey doing pretty well there in 16th place. He's up 17 spots here, largely due to a lot of the difficulties on lap 1 for many drivers having to dip to the pit lane and get some damage repair early on. So everyone from 22nd place back has visited the pits, but I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the end without having to pit again. They all pitted around the sort of lap 1-2 sort of area. Well, George Griffiths, 5th place at the moment, thanks to Crocker deciding to throw up the flag and say, I'm going to be the trailblazer here in the top 10 and take my pit stop now. And for now, Griffiths looking at a top 5 and could be gaining a lot of time here. Crocker, I've noticed, is in a bit of a no man's land at the moment. He's not getting slipstream off anyone.
Well, this might help him, this might hurt him, and definitely not having that slipstream, I'm going to say, is probably going to hurt him, but I'm looking at a battle developing as well. There's a couple currently, I think Robert Ridgway is leading one. He's got Mark Boyd behind him, Mike Broomhead, and Richard Swindells. There's a battle there from about 6th place down to about 9th, and then there's another pack. There you go, Robert Ridgway leading that charge, and you can see there right behind him, Mark Boyd, Mike Broomhead, and Richard Swindell. So certainly an eclectic mix of drivers there, and I've got to say, Robert Ridgway, I'm absolutely loving the paint job on that car. It's not Lima Racing gorgeous, but I love the vibrance of the thing. As you see, Mark Boyd, he doesn't stop to admire the paint. If anything, he just absolutely sends it past. Ridgway looking to fight back, but no, he's done the Marshall Crocker Jr. technique and took to the pits.
All right, and it looks like George Griffiths is in there as well. Yep, Swindells follows him.
Yep. Sorry, Reese. It's great minds think alike, sir. So I do wonder, can these two drivers, certainly Swindells and Ridgway, they're on the same team. Is this a tactical decision? Have we maybe got some actual team tactics going on? We're going to see if it works out. You see there, Ridgway getting away a little bit quicker. Swindells maybe stopping, having a little bit of recreation at this point. An extra 2.6 seconds there in the pit stop. Is that going to be enough that he loses the draft of his teammate? Certainly, if these guys can work together, they can potentially slingshot themselves further up through the field.
Yeah, looks like it. Well, Swindells is going to come out with some very close company behind, and looks like they're not on the same lap, actually. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out for them. Swindells out of the lane now, and he has indeed lost the slipstream off Robert Ridgway, so the team game hasn't quite worked out for them. Asad Nikadenbev, meanwhile, starting all the way down on the back row of the grid. He suffered a little bit along with everyone else on lap 1, but he found his way through and has taken his one and only pit stop. He's been very careful about this. He's conducting this race well, up 12 positions, and now battling with Matthew Mileman here, up 11 positions and 12 positions respectively, these drivers. And we'll see if Assad will be able to cope with the extra fuel load in that car now. That's the thing, you need to get used to the car again after you come out of a stop, but the traction is right there for him, and he blasts past Adam Moss.
Oh, absolutely, and I do believe we've got a lead battle going on again. Arnonkanes has not been able to run away with it, and currently he's battling with the number 3 car of Andrew Hardman.
Oh no! Oh, there's been a crash! There's been a crash for the lead!
Oh,
Hardman off!
No.
Janess lost it in front of him.
We're going to have to see a replay of that, as that looks like Mike Broomhead moonlighting there. Sadly not. No, he's actually in 4th. Broomhead is in 4th, ladies and gentlemen. Shock horror amongst the crowd. They are on their feet. Let's take a look at this replay. Reese, it sounds like you watched it. Walk us through what happened.
Okay, so we shouldn't be looking at Hardman here. We should be looking at Arnaud Janest.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, you see he lost it in the middle of Moss, and ultimately that cleaned up both Tyson Balbosa and Andrew Hardman. So it was he just lost it over the bump there, and you saw the rear end going. Hardman had nowhere to go, neither did Tyson Balbosa, and unfortunately the brilliant drive is going to come to an end there, or just about for Balbosa. Should be able to get the car repaired, but man, it's not ideal as you go through Moss to have a car lose it in front of you. It's one of those corners where you commit on the way in and you're stuck on that same line all the way through. They come into the pits, they've managed to get their repairs done, and looks like fast repair as well. So that's good for them. They've been able to lose not as much time as they would have otherwise, but they have lost the chance to fight for the win. Joey Haynes found his way through all of that and is now in 2nd, could potentially be going for victory here. But I think the biggest advantage of all has been given to Marshall Crocker Jr. and George Griffiths. They were on the other side of the track from all of this.
Oh, certainly Joey Haynes is going to be absolutely fist bump in the air, as is Marshall Crocker Jr. Certainly, you know what, to finish on the podium for the final round would be great. That's fantastic. Michael Broomhead, you know, he's certainly not had the most luck this season. I'd be happy to see him come home on the podium, as we see Broomhead actually a temporary gracing of the podium as he's now making his pit stop. But I believe we've got a battle happening right now in P8 between Richard Swindells and Mark Boyd, ladies and gentlemen. As you see there, Andrew Hardman back on track, looking to make a recovery. But here you go. It is old-timer versus real-life Radical driver. Swindells certainly applying the pressure there to Mark Boyd, and certainly, you know what, for an old fella, an old seasoned fella, he's doing an absolutely fantastic job to be here in the top 10 at Mosport.
Absolutely. This is working out really well for Swindells. He did lose that little bit of time in the pits, but the lead battle crash down at Moss has blessed him here, and now he's in the slipstream of Mark Boyd, and this could be an opportunity to move further into the top 10. We have 8 laps or so to go once they cross the line next, but the big story here is the lead battle is now between Marshall Crocker and George Griffiths, red versus blue. and we're looking for some very interesting fighting going on here with some lap traffic ahead. John Benvalid in the Lima Racing car is the next one that they're going to come up against, as Joey Haynes and Arnaud Jeunesse trade spots for third place. This has been very lucky here for Joey. He was able to drive right through that wreck and find himself on the podium, but we could see Michael Broomhead and Arnaud Jeunesse take those spots too. This is going to be a fight all the way to the end.
Oh, absolutely, and that is exactly how we want to see it as they start lap 18. You can see Broomhead, he's currently there in 5th. Arnaud Jeunesse, certainly these guys will be spicy, be keen to fight it. There's no points really that's going to change it. The prize has already been secured, and Jeunesse is going to have to fight. And you can see there Joey Haynes resting in 3rd. It's going to be a clash of the BiS, BiS furniture at this point. We've got the dresser, the chest of drawers, and indeed the love seat. You guys can work out which one is which, but certainly the furniture could potentially be rearranged here at Mosport.
All we're missing is the kitchen sink, but I think the kitchen sink is up here in the comms box with me. Anyway, Arnaud Jeunesse here, making his way through Moss Corner, and can he get the power down to get in the slipstream of Joey Haynes? Gently through, underneath the sign, and then down the straight. Pick up the slipstream, get that boost of speed from your car, get a little bit closer coming into the final corners. Does Joey Haynes have the pace to stay ahead?
Well, certainly he's definitely been part of the furniture. He's seasoned in this car, not yet able to take home one of the prizes, sadly enough, but he has got that incredible karting experience as well. Don't get me wrong, Jeunesse is no slouch by any means. So I have a quick look at his iRating. He's he's pretty high. He's about 5,300, ladies and gentlemen. So in the top percentile, I'd say, of iRacing talent. And Mike Broomhead right behind, definitely no slouch either. Not one who does official races much, but right now you can see there is this huge freeway battle here for P3, the last spot on the podium for the last race.
Oh, this is going to be incredible stuff, and we have a little bit of a fact here from Daniel Blanco in the broadcast chat. Definitely familiar with him. I remember racing with Daniel many years back in leagues and other sims. George Griffiths was a finalist for the FIA Motorsports Games for Team Canada during the qualifying time trial on Assetto Corsa. So he's definitely got a lot of form here, has George. So keep an eye out on he and Marshall Crocker. This is going to be a great battle between two, well, I would call them seasoned at this point. They've been through the ringer in this season. They've had some great results. And this time, Marshall Crocker coming up against some lapped traffic here. This is going to give the big advantage to George.
Well, certainly Crocker Jr. is going to be fighting very hard. He's already got the amateur win. Can he take the race win for the final of the series? Certainly, with 5 laps to go, there's still very much a lot at stake. George Griffiths not had the best of luck at times, but certainly trying to use that vast experience he has had so far to capitalize on that. Keeping Marshall Crocker Jr. honest, with Joey Haynes about 6.5 seconds behind. These guys do have time to fight, running almost a little bit wide there. Certainly, I was a little bit worried he's going to dip a wheel in the grass, but certainly staying there with the number 18 of Crocker Jr.
I think he might have. There's a chance he might have done that on purpose, just to, give himself a little bit more space to take advantage of the slipstream later on. That's the thing with a track like this. You don't want to be too close to your rival, because then you don't get the full benefit of the slingshot, as you see here. Griffiths was behind by a ways out of Moss, but now the speed is with him. But he's holding off. He's not going for it around the outside. He wants the inside, but he's not being given it.
Well, absolutely fantastic defensive drive there. I have a feeling Senior may be making some calls. He's certainly going to be letting his son know exactly where the threat is. And right now, if it was his radar, there would be bogey behind, ladies and gentlemen. All guns ablazing, and certainly that's exactly what Crocker Jr. is going to have to do. Fights happening throughout. It looks like Brady Clapham and JF LaRocque, they're going at it as well. Brady Clapham, another real-life driver who I understand is also at Sebring. Absolutely fantastic commitment there. I am trying to see if we can get somebody there with a phone, with a camera, to try and show us a live stream of the Lima Racing guys racing at Sebring on some I believe advanced sim racing simulators. If we can get that, certainly please by all means reach out to me in the chat. We got our producer keeping an eye on that as well, but it'd be great to see it. But you can see there, boy, who's going to go opposite end, the number 23 car having a little bit of a battle there with real life racing driver Brady Clapham.
Yeah, this is a fantastic little battle here. It looks like Clapham has succeeded in getting past Larocque there. They do have what's become a three-way battle ahead of them. Looks like Ridgeway, Boyd, and Swindells, all setting about, low 113s, high 112s. These guys around about the same, so I think they're going to have to rely on a mistake somewhere. Oh man, Jamie Levain, down in 25th place, having a bit of a mistake out of Moss. Remember, this is the guy that won race 1, so that finished on the podium in race 1, started on pole. It's not been a great run for him here in race 2. He'll have to settle for a position outside the top 20 here, but keep an eye out on the battle here between Broomhead, Janest, and Hardman. Looks like Broomhead has found his way into 4th place now and is still finding his way forward as Janest and Hardman battle hard behind him.
Oh, certainly, and that's exactly what Broomhead's going to want to happen. The more that they fight, the better he can try and pull away, albeit he's 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds behind Joey Haynes. He's out of the range of Slipstream, but certainly the more that Ganest and Hardman go at it, the more he's going to be able to pull away, but I don't think it's going to work out in his favor. That gap down to just 0.3 of a second. I have a feeling that Broomhead may indeed be getting shuffled away from that P4.
Yeah, this is going to be a very difficult run here in the last couple of laps. The slipstream's there for Andrew Hardman, and he's going to find his way past Broomhead here, trying round the outside. Broomhead attempts to hold strong, but you position your car correctly, and you'll be able to sweep round the outside there at the 3rd last corner of this track. Well, Arnaud Janest now has a opportunity here to get back into the top 5 if he can pick up the slipstream off Broomhead. 3 laps to go for our leaders. This is going to be a very tight finish indeed.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like there's battles happening throughout the field. Obviously, we saw Jav Larocque and Brady Clapham going at it. You got Cedric O'Hine and Kenton Young going at it as well. All sorts of battles. Mark Boyd and Richard Swindells, they're still going at it. Looks like Robert Ridgway may have indeed got into that battle as well. There you go. You got Ridgway for Ridgway setups. You got Mark Boyd in the middle. And definitely Swindells have been able to catch up to his teammate, and right behind him, actually, who's that now? That is lap traffic, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about the blue and white car behind. They're currently not in the mix, but certainly I do wonder, Mark Boyd, a real-life racing driver, BiS veteran, he's there in 8th. Is he going to be able to do it? It looks like Swindells has got a fantastic corner exit. Are we going to see a move from the old-timer? He's certainly gone for it. Mark Boyd forced to the inside as they're heading down the Andretti straightaway.
Yeah, side by side. Swindells, I don't think, is far up enough to really make the move here. If I was in his position, I'd back out of it here, and he's forced wide anyway, and through he goes, just in time to come up on some lap traffic as well. I think he saw that coming and decided, okay, I'm just going to let that one go and find my way through at a later opportunity, but there's not many of them to come. 2 laps to go for these drivers, and if you're interested in the lead battle, well, you can see it up there on the timing tower. Crocker and Griffiths now over 1.5 seconds apart. It looks like Crocker might be driving away with this one if he can keep it together.
Well, as I keep an eye on that, it looks like Brady Clapham and Larocque, I think they may be side by side looking at the timing interval. That's back in P10, ladies and gentlemen, as the fastest lap has just been unsurprisingly set by Razine Fazui. But we're staying right now with Mark Boyd. Richard Swindells is hot up the wing of the number 12 car for Auto Eclectic Motorsport. You can see his teammate there ahead, actually Richard Swindells' teammate ahead there of Robert Ridgway. Now, he wasn't able to get it done last time. Can he do it this time? He didn't quite get the same kind of exit. He is going to be able to try and get a slipstream, and it looks like Ridgway, there's some team tactics going on. He's pulled to the side, breaking the draft there for Mark Boyd, and hopefully helping his teammate Richard Swindells be able to slingshot himself up into his 8th place.
White flag for Marshall Crocker Jr. up the front of the field, as it looks like Swindells has not been able to capitalize entirely on that, but has a whole more lap to try and find his way past. White flag out for these guys as well, but where does the opportunity present itself? It's basically follow the leader through this first part of the lap. Your real chance is that exit from Moss and down the Andretti straightaway. Oh my God! That's Jeanette who's gone off there.
No, that's Haynes.
Oh no, that's Haynes. No, yeah, got the car colours confused there. My apologies. Looks like Joey Haynes has lost his position on the podium, on the final lap, no less. Michael Broomhead now up to 4th. Andrew Hardman up to the podium. A big change here on the final lap. But into the last couple of corners is going to come Marshall Crocker Jr. What a fantastic drive it has been from our M-Class champion who took it at the previous round across the line and is going to win a race fully overall on merit. Beautiful job.
Oh, he is going to be absolutely just over the moon. You see there, Michael Broomhead get 4th. You can see Arno Ganes, he's skulking in there in the background in 5th. Joey Haynes, definitely not what he wanted to do at the end. Actually, Mike Broomhead, not only did he manage to get up to 4th place, he gained 22 positions, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Swindell's not able to get it done, but it looks like Jean-Francois Larocque looks like he's going to try and make a move on Brady Clapham at the end. It's going to be a drag race, not quite able to get it done. Tyson Barbosa looking to recover down at the line, not quite able to get it done. Robert Kobe right behind him. Battles happening throughout the field. Actually, I believe Racine Fazui's got Christian Gritzko in tow. I can't see there being too much of a battle there. Yeah, it's Racine, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Kobe choosing to celebrate on the grass a little bit earlier, but I've got to say, fantastic job there by Marshall Crocker Jr. A well-deserved Mr. Consistency, the man himself. And definitely, you know what, iRacing doesn't yet have the feature, but right now I have a feeling he is going to be absolutely pumping the air. Ladies and gentlemen, almost, Reese, I know I'm not qualified, but maybe we can get somebody singing the Canadian National Anthem. Certainly, that's maybe a new feature to come to Pit Road Productions, ladies and gentlemen, but an absolutely phenomenal drive there. Your AM winner, and then not only that, able to take away the final season, the final race of the season with a P1. Fantastic job there from the number 18 machine.
Yeah, I'd wager that Crocker's going to get a promotion to the pro class for next season with that. Just incredible stuff. Really happy for Marshall. It's always fun to have him up here in the box with us after races, and man, I can't wait to hear how happy he is with this one. Shout out to George Griffiths as well for getting 2nd place. I mean, he fought valiantly with Crocker for a long time, as some other victory celebrations going on around our leader here. I take nothing away from the number 25 of George Griffiths. That was a perfectly executed drive from him as well.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, fantastic. You know what, Crocker, you definitely deserve that. Don't get me wrong. This is one of those things you don't really get a chance to prepare for. I got a feeling he's going to be showboating for a little while as he manages to keep it out of the wall there, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolutely fantastic display there by Marshall Crocker Jr. Certainly, I'm definitely not going to take away his moment to shine. Just say he's not managed to make it into the interview booth just yet, and understandably so, but we should probably go over the results before we move on to that.
Yeah, I think we should. Well, Crocker and Griffiths, your top 2. Andrew Hardman getting onto the podium, and it looked like it was on the exit of turn 3 that Joey Haynes unfortunately lost that podium spot, and he did it all on his own. Promoted Hardman, Broomhead, and Jeunesse up into the top 5 there. Robert Ridgway finishes 7th. Boyd and Swindell's behind them. Well-executed strategy from the Ridgway Racing setups boys, and also Boyd from Auto Eclectic Motorsports up 11 positions. Clapham, meanwhile, gets into the top 10, up 17. Some big gainers here in the second race. Larocque finishing in 11th place ahead of Colander and Balboa, who started on pole position. Really unfortunate to get involved in the mistake for Arnaud Jeunesse there down at Moss. Racine Fazui, he was involved in that lap 1 crash, but he fought his way back up to 14th. That's worth talking about there. Fantastic job from our pro champion. And Christian Gritzko finishing in 15th place. Ohayon and Nakadenbev are your last finishers on the lead lap, along with Keenan Blades, and then Benvalid and Scurali rounding out the top 20. 1 lap down on everyone else. Jamie LeVay, unfortunately, getting involved in the lap 1 crash and had to recover to finish 21st. Finishes ahead of Creamy, Covey, Sutherland, Young, Pollard, Morris, and Meadows. Cara Dudgeon was also involved in the lap 1 crash. She unfortunately retired for a time. Did make it back out on the track, I believe, but 2 laps down not the end to the season that Cara would have wanted, but she's put on some fantastic drives throughout the season. It has to be said. Can't wait to see her back. Chad Payton rounding out the top 30. Ivan Langeveld finishes in 31st place. Matthew Mileman behind him, 6 laps down. Looked like a retirement there from him. Same for Phil Nels and Alex McLean. And then Zach Buchanan and Ozzy Milwain. The lap 1 crash was too much for them, and unfortunately they could not make it back out onto the racetrack. That is your finishing order for the final race of the season. And it looks to me, Zippy, that we have our drivers ready for a chat with us. I think you're going to be taking Marshall Crocker, and what a happy man he'll be.
Oh, absolutely. Marshall, certainly Marshall Crocker Jr., even, and indeed Crocker Sr. I imagine you're lingering there in the background as well. I've got to say, you must be absolutely flying above the clouds right now. We're going to have to put out an APB, let air traffic know that you're currently flying up with the champions. And certainly, what a way to end it. Marshall, tell us a little bit about how this race went for you from the cockpit point of view.
I will start by saying I can't believe it. I really can't. It was such an incredible, like, the way the race started, coming out of the heats. People today were just incredible. The racing, I'm sure you guys saw it. The way people were treating each other, so respectful. The whole field was so quick, and then we settled right back into that in the feature. I got lucky with the system. I've hated the not hated, but I've been on the wrong side of the flip for the pole a couple times in the past. Finally got the front row, and it was so nice getting some clean air, getting to race some clean guys, and it really does bring out the best of you when you know the guys behind you are going to treat you fairly. The lap cars did a great job tonight. Everything perfectly lined up, and it came home in first. I can't believe it.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say, what a way to end it. Certainly, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's your debut season here at BIS. Not only do you come and you be competitive, I've named you Mr. Consistency, but I do have some bad news for you. You will be getting moved up to pro, understandably so, next season. I think that's a pretty valid promotion. Don't get me wrong. You certainly earned it. But Marshall, while we've got you in here, obviously you've got that real world drive to look forward to. It's been absolutely fantastic having you this season. Certainly, we're going to have to see you at some other BIS events as well. There's more coming, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Certainly looking forward to having them here on Pit Road Productions. But Marshall, tell us a little bit about your summary of the season overall, sir.
It really was a wave of passive, self-improvement. It really does come down to part of what makes it so sweet how the season's ended to end it like this is knowing at the start of the season I didn't have a lot of time for sim racing. I got sent the flyer on Facebook, and I was like, all right, we'll put some Wednesday nights aside for it. And just where I was at the start and making sure I was learning from people, watching the guides every week, kind of making this series outside of university my one weekly time commitment, and to see where I am now versus then, it's just been a learning process. And same for everybody else. The racing has gotten cleaner. At the beginning, I was battling, Diego and John. As the season progressed, Richard Hibbs was quick, and obviously, can't not mention Kara Dudgeon, how quick she's been at the end of the year. So it was a lot of new title contenders. I felt like I was having to be a boxing champ, and the only thing that made me come out on the other side with my title belt is just, having to put my best foot forward every week and really put in the time. So I'm so proud of where I am versus now at the end versus the beginning, and the entire series as well. Everybody's grown so much, and everybody should be proud of the way the season's ended.
Well, I honestly could not have said it any better myself, Marshall. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Certainly, you've never been on my radar for any questionable moves. It's been an honourable fight to the lead, and I got to say a huge congratulations to you as well. A huge thanks to your dad as well for being the spotter for you. Certainly, I got a feeling that he may have been calling out bogey behind at several occasions during that race. Certainly, George Griffiths had you in his crosshairs, but absolutely, once again, congratulations, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you here in BIS and on Pit Road Productions.
No, the thanks is all mine. First of all, thank you to you guys, Daniel and Reese. The broadcast quality to get to go back and watch these races. I've been in a lot of broadcast series in my time, and never ones that I've enjoyed going back and watching every once in a while as much as these. You guys do an awesome job, and you're absolutely right. I'll be involved in BIS stuff. Anything in the future. I love the family here. I love the community of racers, and I will be at anything and everything I can. Very quickly before we head out, just want to first of all thank Clay Morris, driver of the 48. He was walking me through in practice today. I was 8/10 off the pace of him, and I found that 8/10 thanks to his guidance. So thank you so much to him. You absolutely said it as well. Marshall Crocker Sr., thank you so much to my dad for everything he's done for me this season. He was the one that he was the one that sent me the poster for the series in the first place. Had I not known, I would have missed on so many great memories. And then to everybody who supports me, watches each and every week. to have people share this journey with me, and I'm sure they'll be there for the test come whenever it is in a couple months. It means the world, and I can't be more thankful for this community of people here, and as well anybody not here for me watching at home for making this all possible. Thank you, guys.
Well, very, very well said. Certainly, feel free to share these links as much as you possibly can. And a huge shout out to our director as well, the very quiet man who hides in the corner, Mr. Christian Hill. We couldn't do it without him. Certainly, I do a little bit of production as well, but not to this kind of standard. Certainly, a huge thanks to him. But Marshall, we're going to let you go. Definitely, I'd say walk it off, but you know what? Pop the champagne, buddy. Absolutely send it. I'm pretty sure you're of drinking age, and certainly if you're not, if you're in the UK, you can take a year off. So just keep that in mind if it's a hard sell. But a very much well-deserved top step on the podium, and we're going to be we're going to be seeing you very shortly here again on BIS.
I can't wait. Thank you. One more thing, Mike Broomhead, Robert Burgess, putting this all together. Couldn't do this without you guys, and most certainly am of drinking age. And you better believe the bushes in my fridge are getting crushed in a few minutes.
Okay, well, any respect I just had for Marshall Crocker Jr. has now been evaporated, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, Bush? Really?
Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. All you kids out
Correct. There. And if you're going to drink and drive, at least do it on a simulator. But anyway, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, let's get Marshall Crocker Jr. out of here before I get myself in trouble absolutely roasting his abysmal choice of alcoholic beverage. I'll tell you what, Reese, your pick, sir. Who do you want next?
I think we should go in finishing order. Next up is George Griffiths in the number 25. Man, you really gave Marshall Crocker Jr. a run for his money there in the second race, but how was that escape from the turn one wreck there?
Yeah, that it was a big wreck. I honestly have no clue how I survived it. I was lucky I was on the inside heading into turn one. I saw someone spin around, and I just tried to dart to the inside as much as possible, and made it through somehow, and ended up finishing second.
Yeah, indeed. It all comes down to survival in these races. I mean, you started 11th, finished 11th in race one, but that doesn't tell the full story. You know, this entire round, this entire season has been a matter of just keeping it clean on the track and taking advantage where it suits.
Yeah, definitely. Especially this race where draft came into play quite a lot. Keeping it clean is one thing, but being able to stay in draft is a whole other thing, where I made a couple of mistakes into Moss Corner where I was chasing down Marshall. And then just that put me back about half a second and lost draft to him, and he started to pull away.
Well, regardless, podium of the final round of the season. And I guess next time the Radical Cup Canada comes around, you'll be there as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I just want to say big thanks to Mike and BIS for putting on an amazing season. And it was a great one to be a part of. It's my first time doing this league, and I'll definitely be back next year.
That's excellent to hear, George. Thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
George Griffiths there in the number 25, and second place here in race two. And, well, now it goes to you, Zippy. Who have you got up next?
Well, we should probably talk to the gentleman who finished in third. Certainly a bit of a lucky break at the end. Joey Haynes, as much as we love him, not quite able to bring it there to P3. But I've got to say, Andrew Harbin's one of the BIS regulars, part of the furniture, indeed. We've not worked out if you are the dresser, the love seat, or indeed the bedside table or the lamp. But certainly an incredible drive, an incredible season. Tell us a little bit about today's race from your point of view.
Yeah, I mean, the sprint race, that first race, it was amazing. That was incredible. I am disappointed I finished sixth in that. If there's only 7 cars in like the lead group, but just incredible how tight everybody was, how much respect everybody was giving, and that's what this is about. And I'm really hoping to rewatch the replay and see what you guys thought of it, because yeah, that was really cool to be part of. And then yeah, the second race, I think I got pretty lucky on the start, being able to break away in the pack of 4. And make my way forward, and then right when I was thinking I was going to be able to get past to P1, I got smoked. But it is what it is. I think Arnaud has apologized to me. I think I saw that. So thanks, Arnaud, for your apology. None needed. It was just a racing incident, and yeah, shit happens. But able to get back to P3, which was pretty cool. I felt really quick after the pit stop, driving angry a little bit, but sometimes it works out that way.
Well, I got to say, it was an absolutely phenomenal race, and certainly it's great to see you here over in Pit Road Productions and indeed BIS. Certainly incredible competition, Andrew, and certainly as we bring the season to a close, any particular highlights or anybody you want to thank, just take this moment and just kind of summarize the season for yourself. Tell us exactly your conclusion.
That's a lot of things to do in one interview, man.
Consolidate, sir. Consolidate. I believe in you.
Yeah. Well, okay. One person I'd like to thank, obviously, Mike Broomhead. Other people I'd like to thank, you guys, Reese, Zippy. You guys have done an awesome job with the commentary. I'm sure everybody else who's done commentary has done a great job too. But you guys are the ones that come to mind. The season was great. I think it started out pretty poorly for me, but steadily got better. I'm able to be competitive and be where I want to be towards the end. So hopefully keep that momentum into whatever Mike has concocted up for next, I guess, summer season. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that a lot of people are back and we can continue with this awesome racing.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Certainly, I'm looking forward to see what Mike's got in plan for the summer. No pressure there, Mike, but certainly, sometimes as a league organizer, it's a stressful role. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, not just the production side. Like Mike he really has to do a lot. Certainly, I know a lot of people who have run leagues and they've actually, they've closed them purely because, they couldn't do the league and drive. So certainly, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who's competed, you have my express permission to DM Mike Broomhead and remind him exactly what you thought of BIS. Be honest. If it's not necessarily the most positive comment, send it my way. I'll filter that for you. By all means, the complaints department is a hand grenade with a pin saying "pull for service." But Andrew, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here in the booth and indeed in the season. And we're looking forward to seeing you in future productions and in future race series here with BIS.
Cheers, guys. Looking forward to it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute pleasure. Now, this gentleman just here, it's going to be a little bit of a different style interview. We've got John Benvalid, and I believe he's got himself Cedric O'Hyan, and I think we may indeed have Brady Clapham with him potentially as well. Now, John, can you say something for us? Make sure we can hear you.
Yeah, you guys got me over here?
I can indeed. So I don't know if our director can show this at the same time. Certainly, it's a bit different there. We can see that you're there. You're live on campus, ladies and gentlemen. John Benvalid. These guys are racing here at Sebring, and oh my gosh, we're going to see. Just bear with us. We're going to see.
Rasim's here. Rasim's there.
Oh my gosh,
Rasim's there too
as well.
Yeah.
John, can you do us a favor? Undo the lock on your phone and try and put it in landscape mode for us. And we're going to see if our director. There you go. We're going to see if our director. We're just going to wait for the all clear. See if he can put this up on screen for us and show. But John, while he's dealing with that, tell us a little bit about what you guys are up to at Sebring.
Well, Cedric, our driver, is actually going to be he'll be racing tomorrow, well, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, but we got practice tomorrow morning and Friday as well. So first race weekend of the year.
So tell us a little bit what's going on in the real world. How are you guys preparing for this? Obviously, Sebring is one of the tracks on the iRacing service. I do see the rather phenomenal facilities there that are certainly going to help you get in some time. But the beautiful Lima racing machine, that's incredibly gorgeous. Not that I'm biased. British Racing Green and Gold machinery. Certainly, how are you guys getting ready for, in terms of setup and stuff like that? Any little tips there? Certainly Rasim, I know, will be keen on the driver coaching side. Tell us a little bit about that.
He's an engineer. Yeah. Rasim's going to be coaching Ced all weekend, and he's also an engineer, so helping him with the setups. And the idea is, we're going to see the livery for the first time tomorrow. Robert Burgess is here with us. He came by earlier to say hi and hang out, have a beer, and tomorrow we'll all be on track together.
Well, John, we have managed to get the camera up, so maybe we can get you guys all in the shot. And I got to say, this is absolutely incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure. Here we go. There you go, John Benvalid on the right. That's Rasim, I can see hiding in the back. Is that Cedric there in the middle?
That's Cedric, yeah, right here. Right there.
Oh, Cedric, I got to say, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. And it's my pleasure to meet you all. Like, absolutely incredible. And I got to say, the sheer determination, like, that has literally made my day. You can see there the fantastic facilities there at the Sebring racetrack. And
front straight right there.
Damn.
Wow. That's amazing.
Very, very, very cool. Yeah, we're here all weekend. P-Cup's actually here with us, which is really, really cool.
So, ladies and gentlemen, anybody there at Sebring, certainly these guys, if you want to get some autographs here from the guys at Lima Racing and certainly at the, who took part in this BiS Radical Canada Cup, absolutely go and see these guys. If not, go give them a high five. By all means, feel free to mess with Rasim in the nicest of ways. Don't wound the guy, but certainly if you want to let out a few restrictions about him being such a beast behind the wheel, go for it. But incredible to see you there. Look, even repping the team merch as well, the Lima Racing merch. And I got to say, fantastic stuff. It's been a pleasure. Before we let you go, any closing thoughts from any of you guys for the season here at BiS?
No, just thank you to you guys for putting on a great show, and thanks Mike. And thanks, Mike, like usual, putting on a great season, and we look forward to the next one. And you guys at the broadcast booth have been phenomenal.
Absolutely. Well, I've got to say, it's definitely a first time we've had this here on Pit Road Productions, and you've absolutely made my day. Rasim there with the pose. Yeah. You guys are just living the dream right there. But we're going to let you go for now. Good luck in the racing tomorrow. Certainly, if you do have a link where we can watch that online, send it to us. By all means, we'll try and get that broadcast for you. I'll certainly share it and tag everybody I can for you. Do our bit to help you guys at Lima Racing. But good luck tomorrow. Stay safe. And, let's try and see if we can get some more podiums here for Lima Racing.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
You too. See you later. Well, I may have just accidentally ditched my co-host into the interview waiting room. It happens. Well, before we let you guys go, I do understand we've been able to get a couple more. We've got Zachary Buchanan here, and we got Clay Morris as well. Now, these guys had an absolutely phenomenal battle. Reese, I understand you're standing by to chat to these two phenomenal drivers.
Yeah. Oh man. Both of you, I think, were involved in that lap 1 incident that happened in race 2. I guess Zach, your perspective first. Obviously, you weren't the trigger for it, as we saw on the on the replay on the broadcast. But what was your view of all of that?
I gotta say, my view was the tail end of a car flying into my windshield and not much else. Unfortunately, I didn't really have any view of it until I was in it. Not much I could have done.
Yeah, it's a shame, but ultimately, I think you can be proud of the season that you've had so far, and there's always something else that can be done, especially for the next season to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, personally, for me, this season was pretty rough when it came to results. Like, I was all over the place, but like the level of competition we have in the league now, and the quality of the racing we've got going on every week makes those bad nights sting a lot less. And it feels like we're really being pushed to our limits, the guys we're racing with every week. So,
and
definitely a good time, and I definitely had a lot of fun this season.
Absolutely. We had a lot of fun watching you as well. Definitely one of the more striking cars out there. We always knew which car was Zach Buchanan. And Clay, for you as well, seventh place start in this particular one, and good qualifying performance. But ultimately, race 1 was going to be your best result of the night.
Yeah, so that turn 1 incident, I was just set into a little bit of understeer, so I was stuck on my line. I held my line, but I was stuck in it. I couldn't do any avoiding action, and I got squeezed a little bit, so a little bit of contact kind of exploded into a pretty big crash. But the first race of the night, I think, was one of the best races I've ever done on iRacing. It was brutally close. Times where we bumped doors, but no crashes at the front of the field that I saw. It was incredibly close, and I even got a finish in the grass. Got squeezed off the track a little bit, but I would not expect anything less. It was a great race.
Yeah, and a very active season as well. I think just looking back at the season full stop, it seems like many drivers had a lot of things to be proud of in this season of Radical Canada Cup. I mean, Rasim was obviously the form guy, and it was very tough to beat him, but the competition throughout the whole field was just immense. And so you've definitely taken a lot from this season, potentially use it for future sim racing exploits as well.
Yeah, for sure. tons of experience racing those crazy fast guys that you don't always get in open official lobbies in the sim, and glad to have been able to do that, and looking forward to doing it again next year.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining us here for one final chat before the season ends. And, well, we hope to see you both again very soon.
You can count on it.
Absolutely. Zach Buchanan and Clay Morris there joining us for one final driver chat before we go to sort of a double chat, Zippy, to really end things off here as driver and as administrator. It seems you've got Mike Broomhead here with us.
Well, I see him here, and the mic has come unmuted. And I got to say, Mike, what a way to finish. Don't get me wrong, you just missed the podium. But to be fair to you, what an incredible drive. 22 positions gained. Now, we could celebrate the joy of Mike Broomhead. And you know what? It'd certainly be a parade I would be cheering until the end of time. I'm going to say it, I don't think enough people will tell you, and I'm going to make sure that we certainly say it here in the booth, but what an incredible job you've done, certainly at BIS. I've been here since the start, and all I've seen is it's grown, and that's 100% down to you, Mike. And I've got to say, I certainly appreciate what you've done with it. Our drivers, always great words said about you, and I have given explicit instructions for them all to send you a direct message and just tell them exactly what they thought. And the complaints department to come my way with the hand grenade saying pull pin for service. Certainly, it's been an incredible season. But Mike, while we've got you in the booth, any thoughts from yourself here as series director?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for consistently showing up. I mean, I can put everything on there, but as long as there's people showing up, we have a show to do, and thank you to everybody in the booth for making it happen. And these things aren't easy to do. They take a lot of effort, a lot of work, and we put together, I think, a good show. And yeah, I mean, I like to end it on a proof that I can actually compete. I don't know where I was for the rest of the season, but it's nothing without the drivers, and every season it gets closer and closer and more competitive, and we really like that here. So it's nothing without the drivers, but appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Oh, Mike, believe me, I don't give kind words out unless they are indeed earned. And what an incredible season. Certainly, it's been an absolute pleasure in the broadcast booth. Reese, by all means, any closing thoughts here for our young friend, Mr. Mike Broomhead?
Well, all I can say is thank you very much for having us on once again for this season of Radical Canada Cup. And man, I'm looking forward to what BIS has coming in the future.
Thank you. Yeah, we got some things that are in the works, and we're just trying to put together a little bit of a summer program at the moment. But we're just kind of a little bit of a break, just a little bit of a breather. It's been a busy winter. We've got some great champions. We've got Mark McDonald in the F1600s. Obviously Racine Fasui in the pro class, and Marshall Cocker Jr. in the AM class. So congratulations to those drivers, and obviously we've got the academy running on Tuesday nights as well, bi-weekly, and Cara Dudgeon, who is with us tonight, is doing very well there, and she's looking good for the championship as well. So we've got some great leagues and even better drivers, and we're definitely going to come out with something in the summer, and then we'll be back in the winter for more Radical and F1600 as well.
Well,
Lovely
I'm certainly
stuff.
looking. Oh, sorry, Reese. I'm so sorry. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
No, I had nothing to carry on with. I just said lovely stuff. That's it.
Well, we are indeed lovely stuff here at Pit Road Productions, but we're going to mix it up a little bit as well. Christian, often the silent partner here in Pit Road Productions, generally keeping yourself to yourself unless an emergency happens to emerge. But Christian, you know what? It's the end of the season. Any thoughts from yourself? Certainly, while you got the Pit Road Productions crew here, let's hear from your thoughts on the season, sir.
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a second. There we go. I could hear myself. I just want to say thank you to all the drivers. Thanks, you guys. Honestly, I'm not even seriously not even joking. You guys put on some of the best racing that I broadcast. So it's been a thrill. That's not only just the Radical, but also the F1600 series. So thanks everyone for racing and putting on an absolute blast of a show. Thank you to Zippy. Thank you to Reese, and thank you to Mike. For helping out, giving me this opportunity to broadcast these awesome drivers.
Well, I gotta say, you have done an absolutely fantastic job. But often, I'll be honest, often it's the commentators who get to take the glory. And I wanted to make sure that you certainly got that moment. Certainly, you've been with BIS. Actually, I don't know if you've been with us since the start. Certainly a long while. I mean, damn, like a good couple of seasons. Certainly on Pit Road Productions, you've always been here. And I think we may have had you as well at Podium back when it was there, and has since upgraded here to Pit Road Productions. But certainly part of the furniture, ladies and gentlemen, and it's often the commentators and Mike who definitely get to enjoy all of the light. And I certainly wanted to make sure that you indeed got the light shined on you for a little bit, albeit with a little 5-watt flashlight that I'm carrying. Certainly, it's a 100-watt for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're wondering who makes all the magic happen on screen, it's not just the drivers, it is this man, Christian Hill. So a huge thanks to him, certainly from myself, I believe from Reese as well, Mike, and all you guys at home wanted to recognize that. But we should probably bring this show to a close. And I got to say, my closing thoughts is it's been an absolute belter. Like, I feel very much honored to be involved with the crew here at BIS, with Pit Road Productions. And, you know, it really is. I mean, I'm still leaning forward to my mic, which is terrible. It's a bad habit, ladies and gentlemen. I think I may have to wear a Hans device or maybe even a seat belt, you know, or have somebody, you know, aggressively
strap yourself in.
Yeah, literally strap yourself in, or maybe have somebody aggressively slap me every time I lean forward. I'm sure I could get volunteers for that. By all means, comment in the chat if that. Well, maybe not. You get the point. But there's enough people in the world who's going to want to slap me. But I got to say, it's been a great season, guys, girls. Thank you so much for being part of this. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get in the summer. Certainly, it's going to be exciting. We're probably going to do some fun races as well. I've got some interesting combos lined up. I don't know if they're going to be broadcast just yet. I would like to actually get on the track and confirm why I stay in the broadcast booth for the most part. But it'd be good to have our friend Reese out as well. Maybe even Christian. I know he's definitely been keen to get out on the track and sort of show that he can actually wheel the car. I'm not convinced, but he's pretty confident, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly we already know that Mike can do it. But I think that's pretty much all from me. We're wrapping up. Reese, yourself, any thoughts?
Bring on what's next to come. I'm really happy to have been part of BIS's runnings for this season, both F1600 and Radicals, and this has been some of the most exciting broadcasting that I've been a part of. This is just fantastic to be a cog in this great machine.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Mike, any closing thoughts?
Just without everybody that does the job behind the scenes, but on the track, but also all the viewers that you know, come and watch this race. It's you know, this is what it's for. This is why we broadcast it. Tell your friends. Go and watch back some of the races. There's some fantastic stuff, and we'll see you again next time.
Absolutely. And I got to say as well, we're not quite sure how we did it, but the first round of the Radical Canada Cup, 2,200 views, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, if you can explain to us how we managed to occur this magic, let us know. But we'd certainly like to replicate that. But again, we do the show more for you, not for the masses. And that's something that's quite important to me as well. But you know what? We're going to wrap it here. Wrap it here? Well, I'm not going to wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to get you back as a viewer, certainly as a driver as well. Maybe Reese has got a couple of tunes.
No, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to release a highlight video at some point of the behind the booth. I'm sure we're going to bring that out to you next season at the close of the season, if we can. You know, it's pretty fun. But a huge thanks from me, and yeah, let's get this show closed. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be back. Certainly, Pit Road Productions is going to be back. We've got a show on Saturday. We've got the Almeida Academy. So if you're familiar with Civilio Almeida, yeah, he's got a series now. He's going to be running on Saturday. He's going to be the Academy drivers there. We're going to be broadcasting the top split of that. There's actually 4 splits, ladies and gentlemen, of people in that Academy, so that's fantastic. And then Mondays, we've got the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League as well. That's on Monday nights. And this week as well, we have the F1200 Sim Reality as well. I believe it's round 3 of 4. Reese, you might know that one. I believe you've been joining me. You joined me for round 1. And then I've got, actually, it's Richard Swindells, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to be joining me. He's probably forgotten as well. That's happening on Friday. So certainly lots more to look forward to on Pit Road Productions. But we're going to bring it to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, again, a huge thanks from me. Thank you all for joining in. Any feedback, by all means, send it over to me. Send it over to Mike. You know, we want to hear it. Let us know. You know, keep it clean. And if not, make sure it's funny. I'll enjoy it either way. But thank you very much for tuning in. And we're going to see you very shortly here on Pit Road Production.
Why Radical? We build race cars. We race iconic tracks. We set lap records. We build friendships. 3, 4, 1. We create champions. We make racers.